begin.
If you get too hot, I'll turn the fire.
All right.
What's up, man?
Hey. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for showing up tonight. I appreciate all of you. And tonight we have very special guests in the house, okay? I brought you the cream of the crop of people that I know who are investigators right now. That's the Paranormal Rejects. Really quickly, before we get into too much, though, I want you guys to introduce yourselves and do some shameless plugging. Yeah.
All right. I'm Ray. Go by Ray Exotic on TikTok, on all the platforms. Lead investigator of the Paranormal Rejects.
I'm Rachel. He's my big brother. I'm Unqualified 2.0 on TikTok.
Marty Sinclair. I'm Ace18487 on TikTok.
He's just the driver.
Just the driver.
chauffeur.
Our Uber driver.
I drive the car.
Y'all will get that soon.
So, real quick, I want you guys to like give us a little bit of like backstory on how you guys got this started, where you got your idea from, and really what sparked the birth, if you will, of the Paranormal Rejects.
As far as the group wise, what was it, 2-3 years ago? We got together and wanted to do a big blowout Halloween, and we decided on the Myrtles Plantation. We were going through, what was it, the Myrtles Plantation and
Right.
something
Bloody
else.
Marys.
Yeah, we ended up going to the Myrtles Plantation and Bloody Mary's Haunting Museum. This was before we were making content for the group. This was our first big investigation, not as the group, but as the group.
Right.
And that's pretty much what sparked the beginning of it. We didn't actually do anything with the group wise till about half a year ago, when we decided, okay, we're fixing to do this. And then we started, right before that we had went to Waverly's. Waverly's kind of cemented it for us, like, yeah, there's something out there, because we had things happening. I mean, just, it was in your face activity. And it was right after that we decided to kind of go full throttle on this. But now I've had experiences my entire life. I've been into the paranormal pretty much my entire life.
So Waverly kind of started you out, like you said, and that was one of those experiences that, honestly, when I saw the videos that you guys were putting public, I was just like, whoa, okay,
Yeah.
this is everything people have said. What was one of the things
yes, we were not disappointed.
Right. What was one of the things that set you guys like really like caught your attention and were, I guess, the memorable part of Waverly? Because I know there was one big thing at least that really said, wow.
So we caught a disembodied female screaming at
the death chute.
No, not in that wasn't in the death chute. That was
that was a train in the body.
That was a whole other stuff. But we heard a disembodied female scream. Everybody had left. It was just basically us, and we had just walked into one of the main hallways. And as soon as we walked in, you could feel the atmosphere shift. And it's not in the video that I had did, but again, this was before I started really editing. I had even said, "Oh, the atmosphere completely changed," and it wasn't a minute later. A woman screams like at the top of her lungs, and we're just stopped. Like, what was that? I mean, we all heard it, which y'all on the video you can hear. You know,
You
the
can hear
scream. Yeah,
Yeah, you can.
yeah, that was wild. Now, probably Marty was when he got touched.
when he
I
cried.
did not cry.
He did cry.
There was no tears. I did not.
He did cry. He cried. He wanted to go home.
I was ready to go home.
yeah, we had to calm him down. Like,
We had to calm him down.
because yeah, he was ready to go.
You were not being Goonie like.
But in the video that we had did right before, there was a series of events that led up to that happening. We had just walked. Yeah, we had come into just seeing some dead birds. We were seeing shadow people in and out the rooms, and right before that had happened, Rochelle had seen right like a split second before I had seen it, like a shadow person head like dart out the door, and I just so happened to catch it too. We both did, and in the video that we've got up from it, you can see this shadow come up out of the ground and then go right back down in, and it was like it come around and then touched him. It was a whole series of events leading up to that.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
That-
intense.
It was.
That place is in your face haunted.
I've heard more than one person say that it's well worth going to.
Yes,
and-
absolutely. I would love to go back.
Yes.
And we got to meet, Tina and Charlie Mattingly. Fantastic people. Fantastic people.
Right. That was you guys' first time out, and you got to see people like that. That's really
Yeah.
crazy. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Oh, I fangirled. Trust me, I fangirled.
Right? Who wouldn't? Right? I did the same thing with Hellbent Holler, this like during the recent outing. I just like I totally fangirled on them. I tried not to, but I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I try to keep it, like, they're just regular people too, but you fangirl. I mean,
Right, right. So you did Waverly. What was your next big thing that you did? It was like, was that the Manor, the down in New Orleans? Am I
we
thinking-
did it first.
yeah, we had went to Bloody Mary's Haunted Museum and that before we had went to Waverly's. It was like a
Oh,
year
wow.
prior, I think.
Right. It was.
Yeah. Where did we go after Waverly?
The can at
To Kentucky. I mean,
no,
to Tennessee.
Harriman. We went to Harriman Hospital after that.
Oh, yeah,
Our
yeah,
next big
yeah.
one was Harriman Hospital.
Yeah, that whole area is really crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's
right
beautiful
over
up there. We had a blast.
It's beautiful, but like
Yeah.
the energy, I don't know if you guys really noticed it or not because you were pretty busy, I'm assuming, but the energy in that area is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And of course, that's over next to where they have, um, that's not too far away actually at all from the military uh, space.
Oh yeah,
area
like Fort
there.
Knox and all that. Yeah, we did actually get to end up going by there when we went to Waverly, wasn't it?
Wait,
Yeah.
yeah, one on the second day.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
witch's tree as well. We stopped.
Yeah,
by
we
and
stopped at the
visited
witch's tree while we were there too in
and
Louisville.
a couple
Oh, yeah, yeah.
cemeteries.
The witch's tree, a lot of people probably don't know very much about that unless they've watched some of the investigators that go into those areas there, and I know there's several really good ones that do.
Yeah, I would love to have got in that
Yeah.
house, but they've got it completely boarded up. You can't get in there, nothing, and it's in an extremely bad neighborhood. When I say bad, I mean it's a bad neighborhood.
That's what I understand. It's like the guy who does Black Mass Paranormal did a few like segments going into that area at the witch's tree, and he advised people be very careful if you go there.
Yeah.
So what exactly, and try to give us a little bit of a, first of all, did you actually experience very much at the witch's tree?
No. Now, okay, so me and Rochelle didn't get out. We pulled up to it. There was like some crackheads, some tweakers.
They were scared.
I wasn't fixing to be. No. We just was not doing that. Him and my nephew got out and went up to it, took pictures and all that. Me and my sister sat in the car. Like, we're not fixing to get robbed. We're not going to get mugged. No.
Right, right.
Let it be lit up.
But
That
no, we didn't.
area, yeah, that area like has a really gruesome past. I understand.
Yes,
We went,
before we went, I'd read a lot of the history, behind it. And that, yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff that happened
Wonder if
around
there's
there.
another one.
yeah, there's like I haven't ever found any documentation on it, but there's rumors of ritual sacrifices and other things that
Yeah,
have gone on.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of rumors surrounding all that right there.
Yeah, yeah. And some of them, like I said, I've tried to research. I haven't found anything on
Yeah,
yet.
there's not a whole lot to find.
No, it's
It's
kind of
pretty
like
much
the
the same
LBL.
stories.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of like the LBL. Good luck finding anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, which, before we go any further, I want to ask you guys: do you have plans to go to the LBL,
So you're where?
to the land between the lakes?
Where's that?
Oh, you haven't? Oh man,
It's
oh,
also Kentucky.
it,
Remember,
it's
that's the one
like
I sent you the thing on.
Oh,
The old
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
spooky.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
I would love to. We haven't really looked into it or nothing, but yeah, that would be
Because we
great.
have to focus on one location at a
Yeah,
time,
it's
otherwise we
yeah,
get scattered.
yeah,
Savannah
And right
is the
now,
right.
yeah.
right, Savannah.
Savannah, Georgia is going to be one of our next
That would
ones.
be
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I am
So
trying to get a hold to. I haven't done it. They won't remind me.
It's all our fault, Raymond.
I'm supposed to get back up with Bloody Mary to get to see about us getting to do an overnight there for Halloween. I just hadn't done it
So
yet.
if you're out there, Bloody Mary, we love you.
Yeah, we absolutely love you, Bloody Mary.
We will
Absolutely,
love
yes.
you, love you, love you. You were amazing.
Yes. That when we went to her haunted museum, that was the highlight of our trip. She took us to her house.
wow.
We
It
got
was
to,
so much fun.
it was phenomenal.
An amazing,
Wow.
amazing
Yes.
person.
Yes.
Wow. I, it's like some of the places, like honestly, there's some of these places that you guys have brought to my attention. I haven't heard of before. When it comes to like the local lore and so forth of the Deep South, there's certain areas that I know well, and there's some areas I know nothing about at all.
Right.
Um, so it's really good to be able to see. And Ray, you're putting a whole new twist on the video thing, right? Because there's a lot of editing you guys are doing now.
Yes.
He's doing,
Yeah.
yes.
It's like I said, it was all a learning curve. I was, used to TikTok short form. I could, edit a 20, 30, 40 second, video in no time, a day tops, if it was going to be, extravagant. This is way different. Long form content editing is a beast of itself.
Oh yeah, yeah. It really can be a long, long road to
Yes.
try to get to a
Yes.
finished product. Um,
Yeah, people
yeah,
think, once we film one of these, I can have a video up, by the end of the week. That that's just not reality. I mean, we all work full time, so I have to do this on, my spare time. And an average video takes me 60, 80, 90 hours worth of editing to complete. And like, as we've been going, we've been advancing, more equipment, and so on. So like this one I'm editing now is the most angles we've had in investigation. So I've got like 4 cameras that I have to sync up, line up to get to where I can switch between them. It's a learning
wow.
curve
Right.
for sure. I'd never
Yeah.
done this before, so I've been learning as I go.
I'm telling you, the stuff that you're putting out looks really good.
Well, I appreciate it. You can absolutely tell from our first till now
The progress.
the progress. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And unfortunately, that is a big thing with any content creation when
Right.
you're going out like boots on the ground.
Yes.
A lot of time is editing is a big deal, and
Yes. If your
making the
editing is crappy, it's gonna flop. It can be a
Right.
great video, but if the editing's crap, it's gonna flop. Your editing is
right,
as far as content wise, is your biggest thing. If it doesn't sell, it's gonna you're not gonna get the views. You're not gonna get it is. I'm learning all this too.
right. So here we go. Pam, one of my moderators, asked, "What are your favorite devices to use while investigating?"
For me, my go-to is the SB7 Spirit Box. It's always been my favorite. Then next to that is just a regular digital recorder. That's my favorite to use. Now we have other devices, but that's typically what you'll see us use because we get the best responses, the best overall with those. I mean, we've gotten some wild stuff. And see, like with using the SB7, what I like with that is, obviously it scans radio frequencies. And on air, when people are on air on the radio, they're not allowed to cuss, things like that. So if you get a spirit cussing you out, F this, F that, calling you names, that's legit because they can't say that on the air. And, so that, lends, more credibility,
Right, right. I remember Fright or Flight when he was on uh, the talk at one point. He had an old guy that would like come through every once in a while and call him a douche, and people were
Oh,
just
we've been
like,
called, you name it, we've been called it.
yeah, yeah. It's like it's amazing what comes up at times like that. I
Yeah.
know, like one of the things that like is really big for a lot of the uh, the investigators are the cat balls. Do you
Yeah,
ever get?
I've thought about because they're really inexpensive,
Yeah.
but I haven't yet. Our next big, as far as equipment wise, I'm gonna get a REM pod. That is the next purchase is a REM pod, and then an SLS
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah, I've had some really good luck with REM pods. Depending, like this house is pretty sterile, to be honest with you, right now. Um, I'm trying to change that. Um, and then I haven't like because we live in the metro area, so I don't like taking my equipment out just anywhere here. Um, but yeah, it gets it. The REM pods are very interesting.
Yeah.
Uh, so and then you said, what kind of camera are you talking about?
Oh, the SLS.
Oh
The
wow.
one where it picks up stick figures.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I really want one of those. But then all it as you're finding out yourself, this stuff's not cheap
Right,
at
We
all.
work
right.
to play.
Yeah, seriously, yeah, we work to play.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's exactly what it comes down to. Like, and I think that's one of the things that is so crucial for a lot of investigators now, especially like you've got people out there like Hellbent Holler who's doing an amazing job, but they have upped the bar so high because they're very high tech with everything. And
Yeah,
they're out in the deep woods chasing cryptids, dude. It's not like they're like they're taking this.
right. I'd
Yeah,
love to
they
do that too. Love to be chasing down Bigfoot.
see that's why I'm telling you guys the LBL's got to be on your list at some time. Not only are there like it's haunted. There's reports of Bigfoot and dogmen there. Like anything and everything that could possibly go on someplace seems to happen at the LBL.
Mm,
Not too far from there was like a really famous UFO encounter where unfortunately a serviceman lost his life
mm,
fighting a UFO there in Kentucky. Is the Mandel? Is it Mandela? Mandel. I can't remember the exact case now. It's been a while. But I know that was one of the big ones that happened over in that area. So yeah, it's like literally Pandora's box ready to pop.
so that would be awesome. I'm
Mhm.
all for that.
Yeah, yeah. You have to be careful of like the ones that are really familiar with the LBL always say take people with you and do not go in at night.
See that what when they tell me stuff like that, I'm gonna go.
You're gonna go. You're gonna go at night.
Yes.
Exactly.
We're gonna go at night.
11 to 3 preferably.
Yeah, 11 to 3 preferably because that's when things happen. In our experience,
Right.
anyway, between 11 to 3 o'clock in the morning, that's always our prime time. That's when we get the
Right.
most activity.
Right. There are also wild hogs out there, so just make sure that
Yeah,
if you can
I'm not
when
big.
you
See, that's another thing I want to get a thermal camera so that way we can see if there's some wild animals out there. We'd be
right,
able to see it.
Mhm.
right. Yeah, the thermal is really important if you're going to go out in the
Yes.
wood areas
That's
like
another.
that.
We will get one. It's just eventually.
Right. They're like upwards of like the ones I've seen are somewhere between like 300 and 500 bucks
Yeah,
for
yeah. For a
majority
decent
of them.
one, you're gonna pay at least 500.
Right, right. Um, uh, True Crime was telling us that they were having problems trying to figure out chat at first. I feel you. It took me a minute to figure that out too. So with investigating, one of the things that like is really important, and most people don't even talk about this very much, is making sure you are protected when you go into places like this because you can all kinds of stuff can happen.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on protection and the things that you do sometimes to protect yourself when you go into these places?
Oh, I always do. I know people that don't do anything, and never have anything follow them, never have an issue. And then I know some that have. I myself, I always, they can tell you, I use Florida water. I always protect myself in some form before we go. And then obviously when we leave, the biggest thing, and I tell everybody this, you let the spirits at that location know they are not allowed to follow you home, that they have to stay there. And say this out loud to them, let them know. That's my biggest thing right there. At the end of investigation, let them know they are not allowed to follow you home.
Right, right. Yeah, because you can get some nasty things following you
Yes,
home.
you absolutely can. Yep. You take anytime you go to a location you know for a fact is haunted, you take a risk. You take a risk of something attaching to you and going home. It is. I don't care how well you protect yourself. You run that risk.
Right, right. It's kind of one of those things that's what is the words that they use in the military for like uh collateral damage or something like
Right. Right.
yeah.
And you
You
hear
just
stories all the time. You'll see them on, videos on YouTube, people going for the thrill, going to an insane asylum. 2 weeks later, they're on, Paranormal Witness. You got all this activity in that. I mean, it happens.
right, right. Oh, yeah, I get people asking me all the time, why do you try to open things up in the place where you live? I'm like, you know, you learn things over the years. You learn how to contain things. You learn how to toss things off to the side. And so
We had to
while
bring
there
one
is
away here.
Yeah.
is what oh yeah, it's like so you can it's like I'll open up a doorway here and there every once in a while, depending on where I'm at, just to see what happens. And some people are like, you
I'm
have to
trying to
have
read
like,
the comment. I'm sorry.
oh, this one here,
Yeah.
is they're just talking about discussing the Bloody Mary haunted museum, and that was
Oh, you're
there.
talking about the place is bad energy. Yes. If you know
Yeah,
anything about it, there was, a guy
Click his
kid.
what?
Yes, it's guys, there's some bad juju there, and trust me, that place is 100% haunted. 100%.
Yeah.
The stairwell.
Yes, you can feel the energy. The energy there. If you've ever been to New Orleans, you already know the energy in the French Quarter, a whole different vibe in itself.
oh
But
yeah,
Bloody Mary's museum and her house, they both had the same kind of energy. But as you get to the stairs to go up to the second floor, you can feel it. It's like a wall there, completely different. Upstairs is totally different than it is from downstairs.
And it contains the original bathtub that she
Yes,
was
that
cut
she
up
was
in, the
And the
original
stove.
the
stove she was
stove.
cooked on,
Yes,
and the original
yes.
refrigerator.
I mean, that made national news.
Yeah. Her body
wow,
was in that
yeah,
refrigerator pieces.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yes, it was. We investigated there.
Yes, that was wild. I had they were in the room where the bathtub, I think.
I was in the bathtub.
Yes, yes. I was in the main room, and I thought I seen something in the corner. So I had the Oculus, and I walked over close to it. And in the corner, there was a guitar just sitting up there, not moving or nothing. I'm just sitting there, and I felt the energy shift. Next thing I know, the guitar goes flying over. It was like I knew that was fixing to happen. And we didn't have this, like I said, this was before we started really going full throttle on the content, so we didn't have that filmed.
Mm, wow. Yeah, there's like, yeah, I don't think people understand the dynamic sometimes. Like if there's a place that's really haunted and it's got a lot of energy there, like you have to, that's something you've got to experience. You can't just like people are like, oh, that's, I don't believe this. I don't believe
Yeah,
that, blah, 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 blah.
I say
Like
that all the time.
you,
Unless
you
until you
yeah,
experience it, you can't believe it.
yeah. There's a place in Madison, Alabama, in the northern part of Alabama, not too far away from Huntsville. It's a little shop, and it's actually two log cabins put together. One of them was built like during the 1700s, I think, and the other one was built during the 1800s. This shop has actually been on some of the paranormal shows on television.
Oh wow,
The owner is very careful about bringing people there now because
I get it.
she's very afraid of people opening things up.
Yeah,
I went in there one day because a friend of mine worked there, and we were kind of just, I was pointing things out to her and so forth. And we got to this one spot, and I said, hold on a second, I'm going to show you something really crazy. And I just kind of opened up and sent out a message. There was this little boy that was over in the corner hiding in this pile of stuff that they just pushed off to the back in a storage corner. And I asked him mentally, I said, I dare you to come tap by my foot. Just come tap on the floor right by my foot. And he comes running over and he pops
oh
the floor
wow,
right quick. And she looks at me and goes, what did you just do? I said, there's a little boy that's hiding over there in that stuff. I want him to come over and tap the floor to let you know he's there.
that's
And
wild.
and so she goes downstairs and she tells the shop owner, she goes, hey, that little boy is back. And the look that she got was priceless. She was like, oh God. So I don't know what's up with the little boy, but he definitely was showing out that day. But
I
yeah,
don't.
he was
I can't
right by her.
recall hearing anything about that place. Maybe, I mean, and I watch a lot of the shows and that, but
There's so many places
yeah,
though.
yes, it really is. It's hard to keep up with a lot with them.
It's and where this place is, it's in it's in town, but it's out toward the boundaries of town. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So it's kind of secluded. And it's also one of those places, like I said, where the owner is like, she gets really iffy about people coming in there, stirring up things because she's
Yeah,
really
I
worried
get it.
about that.
Because some people will go in and be opening up, portals, doorways, and that. When we go, we're going to contact what's already there. You know.
Right, right, right. Yeah, in a lot of cases, like things like that, I'm very particular about making sure that I just stick with what I see and
Yeah.
what I know. Um, so with your investigation, are are you guys? I know Ray most likely is going to say yes to this, but are all of you gifted in some way or another with being able to be sensitive or anything?
I am.
She is. We both are. But I'm more open. She is too. But you already know with me. Yeah. Him, I think he is too.
You know, to have a
Oh, I just
spirit
get
just
the
Yeah.
heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
So,
to have a spirit come up and actually touch you, yeah, there's got to be something there because they normally just don't like go after
Right.
people that they can't because their whole point is trying to communicate, however.
Right.
And if they
And
don't
see,
sense,
me and her will get images.
oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
just be sitting there and random images will be popping in. Like she
Yep,
I don't, it'll be in this
yep.
next video. She'll explains in it. She had an image of this little boy. I can't remember the whole thing in it, but yeah, we'll just get random images just out the blue
Yep.
and just wild stuff.
Yeah, the little boy came charging at me, like aggressive. It wasn't playful.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's one of those things that you with kid. Here's the thing. So Do you guys find this to be norm for you, where there are entities that will pose as children that aren't really children?
Yep, yep. I more so any. I would say 99% of the time, if there is some kind of child spirit, that's not a child. That's going to be something completely different. I mean, I'm sure there's that little 1% that it is, but I just don't believe it is. I mean,
Mm.
I just don't. I think it's something else. I
They
mean,
can present themselves in all kinds of
and
different
yes,
ways.
I mean, children, especially, you'll see, it's a lot of times they're portrayed as like, 5-year-olds. At that age, you're innocent. Your
Right.
soul is not going to be lingering. It's just not, no. It's like I said, I truly believe if you're encountering a child's like spirit, it's going to be something different and most likely negative.
Right, right. I've only known of one instance out of many that it turned out to be legitimately a child. And this particular child latched on to somebody that I was kind of close to, and she would go back and forth between the two of us.
Mm,
And so I don't know how he managed to get this child attached to them. He's a dad himself. Maybe this
that's
child
very
managed to,
possible. That's very
yeah.
possible.
But that is like a really rare case, and I've never seen it since.
Yeah, no, I haven't come across a legitimate one. Let's just say that. And as like I've said earlier, in this kind of thing, until you witness it, experience it.
Right, right. What was your first reaction the first time you had a really good, like, especially with Waverly was probably the big turning point for you, but like the very first experience you ever had where you were like where it left a mark on you. What was your whole reaction to that?
Oh, for me, I was a child. I was 9 years old and seen a shadow person, and it growled at me. And literally from that day forward, it propelled me into the paranormal. I started studying and researching it from then on. So when I say I've been studying this a long time, I have. But that was,
Yeah,
like I said, 9 years old. That's cement because I mean I've seen it and heard it. It could be one thing of seeing it, yeah, they, dreaming, whatever, but then I heard it too. And it's something people will tell you, they see shadow people and things like that. It's darker than the dark. You can't see your hand in front of your face, but you can see that.
right, right. Which is it's really funny because I've noticed like people describe shadow people, dog man, and a couple of other paranormal.
Yeah, like the Hat Man and all them. Yeah,
Yeah, they'll describe that same black.
yeah.
It's like and it's really funny because not too long ago I saw something. It may have been on TikTok actually. They were somebody was like advertising a new pigment of black that they've discovered that's
Oh
like the
yeah, I
blackest
seen
of all
that.
black.
Yeah,
I'm wondering how close that is to what people are seeing.
I have wondered that. I have wondered that. But I know
And
exactly what you're talking about. I can't remember the shade, but it's the darkest, darkest, darkest black that there is,
mhm,
to where light cannot penetrate it. Yeah,
right. And
but yeah, I
don't
wondered that. Is that the same in the same,
right,
frequency realm, whatever?
right, exactly. Do you think that that may be um, a commercialized way of trying to normalize that?
It could be. It could be.
See, I'm very concerned about that concept of what gets normalized and what don't. It's like that's one of the reasons why when all these investigators started going on television, I just saw red flags popping up everywhere. I was like, oh my goodness, they're trying to normalize this
Yeah.
to the
Desensitizes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Desensitizers. Yeah.
yeah. And essentially that seems to be what they've succeeded in doing in a lot of cases now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, even like you go on TikTok, it's like how many times do you see you flip through, you see somebody doing a paranormal investigation someplace.
Right, right. It's a normal now. I mean,
It
30
is.
years ago, you just didn't see that. I mean, the
Right,
past 20 years, it has skyrocketed.
right, right. And so there does seem to be like this sense of normalization going on, but
Right.
there are the
It's not a taboo as it used to
no,
be.
no, it's not. So with you guys though, and some others, I'm noticing like more and more there are that fringe group that is not really doing the cookie cutter thing. So with your investigation, one of the things I'm curious about is like what is your end game as far as data collecting and so forth goes? Are you kind of doing that? Are you putting it together to come up with theories and ideas?
Oh yeah, yeah. Each location has its own history. Its own what is it, stories. Things like that. So like this last one we went to a hotel that was a Masonic temple at one time where they did rituals, things like that. So when we're in there, we're asking questions. Asking, was there Masons here? Things like that. See if we can get any correlations to between the stories that the location has and what we get. You know, collected
Right,
wise.
right. One of the things that would be interesting to me that I've never seen anybody do yet is go around, and I'm sure there's people that probably do this, but maybe not, is to have a group that went around to places where famous people, like in history, had passed. Either they were, especially if it was like a violent passing, and do an investigation there to see what happened.
You talking about like say what I'm trying to think of an example. Say like
Kurt Cobain's Law,
yeah,
Right,
the
right,
garage.
yeah.
right. Or even like even deeper into history, going to for one of the things I've always been curious about because of the Masonic connection is Joseph Smith, who of course was executed in Illinois, and he was the founder of the Mormon Church. But he was heavily into Mason, like
Yeah,
heavy.
I read something about that.
Yeah, it would be really interesting to go to the like places that like that where like the area where he was executed to find out exactly what kind of energy is there.
Right, right.
Because like I said, that guy was like so into the Masonic thing.
That guy was warped. I'm not even gonna lie. He was out there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely so. So it would. I've always thought that would be a really cool thing to do. I have not done that myself yet. I would like to one day. Although I'm going to tell you, I'm not getting any younger like everybody else. So
Right.
if
Trust
I
me,
do
we
these
get it.
things, yeah, if I do these things, it's going to have to happen like soon.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we pay
yeah.
for it. Every investigation, we pay for it days after.
So what's some of the? That's another thing that's always interesting to me too. The things that we don't want people to see on camera that happens during investigations, like
I'm old and I fart.
I've had to cut that out. I've had to edit
A
those out.
bunch.
We'll start leaving
right.
it in if y'all like.
No, we're never gonna do that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what he's referring to, but that was
Oh,
funny.
well,
I mean, it kind of is.
I mean, it happens.
Right.
Um, Look, I remember going on an investigation with a group of people one time, and thank God this was before the internet. And one of the guys he was a little short thing. He thought he was going to climb over this really tall fence, and he got stuck up there. He literally like got caught on his shirt and was hanging from his back. and we couldn't even get to him for a while. We were like, you know what,
I
he's
said,
stuck there.
you good.
And there he is, poor little guy,
Yeah.
just like flaying his arms and trying to get out. And like, definitely something that if it would have been this time period, we would have had to cut that. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
But those are the
Pretty raw,
moments.
though.
We're pretty raw. I mean, we have tried to tone it down. Like with the cussing, we've tried to tone it down, but we're
in the
pretty raw.
beginning, we were just be
Yeah,
ourselves.
Yeah, we were just being ourselves when we first started
and
doing it.
ourselves is a little too much.
Yeah, we're gonna get canceled if we still try to be ourselves. So we got to tone it down a little
But
bit.
yeah, we've toned it down.
Yeah, you guys are kind of brave though. Like, yeah, the one place where you went into that closet and then went down with like underneath the floor.
Malaga.
Malaga,
Malaga.
yeah. That was the underground tunnels. That was speculated to be part of the Underground Railroad.
Right, right.
It was
So-
creepy down there too.
Did you was there anything that wasn't on film there that happened in that area that sounds like? Is
No,
it-
we didn't get to. We were okay. So we were planning on coming back. So the lady there gave us a key to pretty much.
Shout out to Miss Kathy.
Yeah, she
She
gave us
was
a,
amazing.
she gave us a skeleton key. We had access to the entire property.
No, we didn't.
Except, right, except for the underground tunnel. Nobody is supposed to be going down there. And she had told us we could go until she left. And we went, as y'all had seen, and we were planning to go back. And I guess by the time we went back, she had she left or
She
something.
locked it or the other lady
Yeah, so we
did.
couldn't get back in. We wanted to go down between the peak time, 11
Right.
to 3 o'clock. And
Because it was
couldn't.
early by the time we
Yeah.
went down. We were just going down to
Yeah, that
just
was
check
one of
it
our- yeah,
out, scope it out, see what we needed to get ready.
Yeah.
Do we know why they kind of protect
Safety
that
concerns,
tunnel?
I'm
Safety
sure.
concerns. And there's a lot
Yeah.
of pipes that are
Yeah.
running down through there that
Yeah.
you don't want to crawling and bumping. We didn't want you.
Yeah.
If you bust them pipes, it's a mess.
Oh yeah, yeah, that would definitely be. Yeah, I could understand why that would be. Yeah, the safety concern with that.
Yeah.
It did.
In some of these places where we go, I mean, like Waverly, we had to sign
It's
a
not
waiver. Yeah, at Harriman, we had to sign a
Harriman, we
waiver,
had to.
because it's dangerous. I mean, you're walking along in the dark, you can't
Right.
see. Or, I'm looking through the camera with the IR, and, you can make one wrong step, twist your ankle, or fall down
Like
2
at
floors.
Malaga, that 5 foot by 5 foot hole in the ground that went where we
Yeah.
don't know. It was full of water.
Yeah, and we're walking around in the dark.
Yeah, one wrong
Wow.
step into that, we would have drowned.
Wow. Yeah, that's gotta. It didn't even occur to me that things like that go on there. But I guess, I mean, you're talking about old abandoned places. and
Right,
so
the
forth.
hazardous
Yeah.
parts of
We
it.
tried it. We always like to go, daytime, mostly to scope it out, kind of get a feel of the area, B-roll, things like that. But to scope it out, so like I said, at night we can't see this stuff, so we try to get an idea where things are, so we're not breaking our neck.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. So what? So that's obviously one of the things you do to prepare for going into places like that too. What are some of the other things that you do to kind of ensure your own safety on the practical level? Because like I know there's a lot of people out there that are going, "Oh, I think I want to do this," and they have no idea what they're getting into.
Right. Now, we've always had a rule. We don't split up. We stay together. But we've just started kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit. As y'all are going to see, we've just started pushing it just a little bit,
But we still know where each other are.
Yeah, we know, yeah.
And we're available
Yeah.
in case
Yeah,
something
because
goes
anything can
south.
happen, as far as, breaking your neck, But yeah, that was always one of our rules. We stay together. You don't go off by yourself. You don't run, which, I mean, I've done, but hey, that's a whole other story.
Both of these two have ran. You ran into a wall.
I ran into a wall.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to run away.
No.
Once again, we're raw.
Yeah.
The spine says run.
You
You run.
run.
Yeah, until you're in that situation, you're on edge. Things are happening. The slightest
Right.
little, whisper sound, you're going. Fight
It
or flight.
startles you, yeah.
Yeah, it will. It startles you. I mean,
When every hair on your body is standing
Yeah.
up.
And you're
it's-
already
yeah. When you're
out.
already on edge, things are happening.
Yeah.
yeah, it don't take much to send you in fight or flight mode.
Yeah, in the early years, things like that would bother me too, to be honest with you. But anymore, I'm so used to whatever. It's like I'm just like I usually just now I'm at the point where I'm cynical enough. I just roll my eyes and go, really, that's the best you can do. But yeah, when you like some of those places though, like you've got so many things coming at you at once, I imagine it
Yeah,
does become
yeah,
overstimulating.
yeah. When you have one thing after another happening, yeah, it gets pretty
And you
intense.
get in your head.
Yeah.
If you get in your own head, that's
Oh
your worst
God.
enemy.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the things that I've always found helpful too is detaching before you go into a place like that because you already know you're getting bombarded, but like, and you know what I mean by detaching, where you just kind of like you
Yeah,
separate yourself from yourself,
yeah,
kind of, so you can
yeah,
go through and get a feel for what's
yeah. So that
around
way you're
you
not
and
in your
so forth.
head. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because the minute, like you said, the minute you get in your head, that's when it's game's over. You're
yeah,
done.
yeah.
Um,
Because it
and
is. You
I,
go to some of these locations. I
And
mean,
you're hearing the history, and
right?
some of that history is brutal.
oh
Yes,
yeah,
yes. It's
yeah,
dark. There's some dark history in some of these
And
places.
then you go sit in that room where all the
Yeah,
dark happened by yourself. You
yeah. You be
start,
getting it in your head, like,
yeah.
oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Which
That's
was
one of the
what was good
downsides.
about Bloody Mary because she didn't tell you nothing
Yeah,
Until
yeah.
after.
until
Until
after.
yeah.
Then you got the
But we
history.
kind of already knew,
Mhm.
Wow, yeah. That I I think I'd actually rather hear the history afterwards in a way myself because
Yes.
then you don't have
Yeah, for
because
content wise, you want to hear it beforehand, so that way you get in your head. It
Yeah.
makes for better content, because then you're tripping out.
I guess for me though it's like the element of surprise and also if you don't have a backstory, like you don't have anything where you question, did I just think that happened or did that really happen?
Right. Like I said, we'll have random images, pop in our head. So yeah,
Yeah,
Oh
we've
yeah,
been places where we didn't know the history till
yeah,
after, and we've been places where we did know
Didn't
the
know.
yeah.
history
Yeah.
during.
oh wow, yeah, yeah. It's like Franklin, Tennessee, which was a big battle in the Civil War. If you ever get a chance to go downtown there, almost every one of those buildings that are still standing that war era or before were used for hospitals and makeshift morgues and so forth
Oh, I bet
during
there's all
that.
kind of activity there. There
Oh, it's
always is in places like that.
like I went there just for like one of their haunted tours when Halloween season, and honestly, I was so like I don't know if you guys get really like a lot of energy get really energized from being in a place like that.
Oh
I was so
yes.
I was so amped up after that I couldn't sleep for
Yes.
like a good day and a half.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. What do they call that? It's the paranormal hangover.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's definitely that.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that I know you've got a list of places that you want to go to and so forth, and you're working on collecting data to kind of formulate um, for yourself what you think is going on with some of this and so forth. What are some of the other things though that we can look forward to from you guys coming up? Uh, future events that you
we,
may
we
be
got
planning?
some real big ones. Now the big locations that people know about, the most haunted of the haunted, these places book out. And when I say they book out years in advance. Like Waverly took us a year to get into,
Yeah. Yeah.
but Penhurst and Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Yeah,
Wow.
our next big trip is
Yeah,
going
our
to be
next
those
big
two.
one. We try to do one big blowout a year. That's going to be our next big one. Harriman was our last one, the one before Waverly,
Right.
but our next one is
The
Penhurst.
big one, right? Well,
Yeah,
we're going to go to Savannah. We're going to
yeah,
do,
we're doing
it's not a day trip. It's going to be like a 3-day trip. It's not
like a
big,
weekend
like,
trip.
right,
Yeah, because we're not that far from there,
right.
and
That's
the whole town's
doable.
haunted. Yeah.
Right, right. Savannah has a very dark history.
Right.
Yes.
And it's
Uh,
doable. It's within
Right,
driving distance. We
right.
don't have to really
And
make a
if
big
you know anything about Savannah,
vacation.
they've got the Moon River Brewing. From my understanding, they're about to close that. And that made itself known from Ghost Hunters, like season 2, I think, of Ghost Hunters in 2001.
mm,
Catching that shadow figure going, in the basement. I would really love to get in there before they close it. I don't know if they're tearing it down or just what, but it's going to be no more soon if it's not already. And I really
that
want to get in there before.
yeah, that's a huge, huge loss actually.
Yes. But I mean,
Wow.
there's plenty of other places in Savannah. I mean, that whole town.
The whole town.
Right. Yeah, there was a movie that was filmed there years ago, something about My Secret Garden or something like that. Um, or
Hmm.
it was something about a garden. I remember it was like I was really a lot younger and a lot more
The Secret
disturbed than
Garden? Is that what it is?
Midnight in the Garden.
Midnight
Good
in the
Evil.
Garden, Good and Evil. That's it.
Okay,
that's
okay.
it.
I
That's
never
it.
watched it. I do know the name though. I've never
Yes.
watched it though.
Like I watched that and I understand that parts of that was actually filmed there in that area and honestly, it was so distracting to watch that movie because places that that it just gives off a vibe. It just gives off a horrible vibe sometimes, and so that movie was very distracting to me
Mm.
to watch. But yeah, so when you go into Savannah, what like you that's got to be some crazy expectations you have for that.
Yeah, I mean,
And
the history and all the places there. I've got a friend that lives there, and she's kind of into all this too. And she's been when we go, I'll hit her up, and she'll guide us to some of the locations.
and of course, we're gonna pick a haunted hotel, one that has
Yeah,
history of
yeah,
hauntings.
yeah. When we go
Got
play, yeah, if
We
we
would
can get
try to book those.
yeah, we try to
you
book
got
a
to.
hotel that is known for activity.
Wow. See, that's gonna be and 3 days there. That is like a whole smorgasbord.
Yeah,
Wow.
weekend.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, yeah. So when you, I'm just thinking about all the time it's gonna take you to like edit all that video.
Yeah,
Wow.
it takes a while.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be, but it's gonna be so worth it. It'll be
Oh
so
yeah,
worth it.
oh yeah. This, each video I do is my favorite one, and because I learn each video, and this one is my favorite one. But again, this one is the one where I've never added so many different camera angles, in it. So this is
Right.
my favorite one,
And we had a lot more activity
and
this
yes,
last.
we had some wild activity
This
there.
is the
Y'all will see.
most fun we've
Yeah,
had.
yeah.
And
It
it's
wasn't negative or anything. Not like some of the other places we've been. It wasn't. Uh, Unfriendly or anything like that.
Not
We didn't
dark.
get, it's nothing like that. But
Hmm.
it let us know it was there, and we had a first happen there. I've never had it happen before, where a sound traveled the entire room. I've never had that happen. It was wild.
Wow. Wow, they were really showing out wanting you to
it,
Yes,
know
they
what they could
were.
do.
yes,
They had
That's
left the
cool.
room, went to the room beside,
yeah.
and some.
They were going into different rooms,
I was in one room by myself. They were Raymond and Marty was in the room next door, and the door opened. I thought they were coming back
and we
in.
didn't have the camera on it.
We
Ah,
can hear it in the cameras because they were videoing, so you could hear the
Yeah,
door
but you
open,
don't see it.
but we can't see. Can't see it.
oh wow. Wow.
Yeah,
But I mean, you've got the sound. That's important.
yeah,
You can
Yeah.
definitely hear the
yeah. You
door
can hear it.
open.
We have something.
That
I was in the room by myself, and you could hear in that place. Everything it's got a wooden floor, so when you step, it creaks. You know how the
oh yeah,
wooden
yeah.
floors do. And there was something you can, and it's on film. We got it. You can hear the footsteps coming up to me. That was wild.
Wow.
That kind of tripped me out a little bit.
The whole place was wild.
Yeah, it really was. But
Have
like I
you
said, it was a Masonic place. They were known to do rituals there, so there's no telling what is actually there.
wow, yeah. That's one of the things that I don't think people understand like how impactful historical actions just like and
Right.
it's in layers. It's in layers. It's like an onion.
Right.
Everything that's ever
Yeah, you're peeling
happened.
back layers to get to what actually happened there.
Right, right. And sometimes it's, to get to the very core of things, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of energy, and a
Right,
lot of time.
right. And we're
And
trying to
so,
compact all this into, a 45-minute, hour-long video.
right, right,
Right.
right. That's got to be the hard part. What do I cut
Yeah,
out and what do I
what to
not?
keep in, what to keep out. Yeah,
Wow. God, things have changed so much over the years. It really
yeah.
has. So one of the things I definitely want to touch on too is this contest. So y-
Oh,
you were doing, you were at like in the number one spot all through the
yes.
first thing.
Yeah.
So right now you're still holding pretty strong at two,
I'm in,
right?
I'm in number two. But so with this contest, as you know, you can pay for votes. And the person
Right.
that's in number one now, I had been watching him all week, kind of battle back and forth between 2, 3, and 4, and he'd go from like 4 all the way up to 2. So obviously, I know he's paying for votes, and that happened last night. Uh, I noticed it this morning. Well, when everybody did, when I got to second, he was in like already in fourth place, I want to say, and then boom, first place. And I've got a lot of people voting for me, and I still can't take that from me. So I know he spent a little bit to get there, which I mean that's fine. It's all going to a good cause.
Right.
But as far as organically, I've held my own organically, and
Right, right, right.
we really need this because I mean, well, I'm
Right.
telling you, if I was to win this, I've said it from the jump. I mean, this will pay for one of our big locations. Something
Yeah.
gets us the equipment we don't have that we need. That's my biggest goal in doing this is to help the channel. It's going to go into this channel.
Right, right. And we want to make sure that everybody, like, I know I've been pushing for you guys
You absolutely have. I appreciate
on,
it. You just don't know how much I appreciate. I appreciate everybody that has been, supporting me. Going every day,
yeah,
voting every day. I
Right.
appreciate it more than y'all will know. Because when
like,
I first did this, if I make 50th place, hey, that's great. And then I was first place. I'm like, I might actually have a chance at this. So
right,
I started
right.
really pushing it.
Well, and that's the thing of it. The good news is so far is that these are elimination rounds right now.
Right. So even if I
So it's
stay second, I know I'll go to the next round.
right, right, which is really important to know too. But we still don't want people
Right.
to
Yeah. I
get
don't want to get down to 14. The top 15 will go to the next round. I don't want to be down at 15 and then trying to have to battle my way back up to first.
Or somebody pays some money real quick and
Yeah.
drop you down before you even know it.
Right.
right, right. That's the other thing. And I gotta tell you, one of the reasons why, like, I get the money is a big deal, and that is like a huge thing. But
Right.
the other part of that though is you also get a photo op and a little bit of extra push with
Right.
meeting who
Right.
who are we talking about here?
Kane Hodder.
There you go.
Right. I
So
was talking to you, if this could possibly, we need this. This would be the boost we need.
right, right. And see, that's the thing. It was like this is what, and we all know this probably more so than we realize. But when you're doing something like this and it's something you really enjoy doing, which you guys obviously do,
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely love it.
and it becomes a big part of your life,
It
you know,
does.
people don't realize how much, not just time, but how much money and um,
Yes.
how much resources goes into, just, I mean, like funding
Right.
this. I mean, I'm placing huge bets on this
Right.
right now,
Right. It
and this
costs
isn't even
money. This
part.
stuff's not
Yeah,
cheap.
No.
yeah, and this isn't even part of like the back part right now is the investigation for me. I put that
Right.
on the back burner to get this part going.
Right. Right.
So I can, like, I know what you guys are like, the equipment alone.
Yeah.
You're
And
talking
we're
about like,
far from having what we want.
oh
Right.
yeah,
So, it's
yeah,
been a slow process. We're working with what we got, slowly adding to it. And
right.
then,
Well,
like a location, unless it's, like local or something, a location, let's say like Penhurst. it's what, $1,200
Right.
for 6 hours. You know, these
Mhm.
locations are expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that's crazy. It's really
Yes.
crazy,
Yeah.
but
We have to plan a year in advance
Yeah.
to prep for it.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, they're so far away. You know, we got to, you know, hotels, but you know, it's a lot goes into it.
hmm it is. It is a lot.
So
I
you
don't
know, the
think
big, you
people.
know, like we said, you know, once a year, the big ones, you know, we can only do really right now one a year. Yeah, but now we do the, you know, local things. Well, we can get to do day trips, you know, things like that. That's doesn't require a whole lot of money. You know, not no insane $1,200 for one night. You know,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Right, right. The good news, though, and this is very good news, is you guys, you make it fun. You have your own thing going on, personality wise. You guys are likable people.
Well,
It's
thank you.
like the,
We're
I
just
mean,
being us. We're
your
loud, obnoxious.
right, your family. So you've already got
Right,
that connection going. So the good news with all that is, you know, you're developing your fan base now,
right.
and that's where you start being able to go and grow with is
Yeah,
when the fan base is watching what you're doing. They see what you're the effort you're putting into it. They see how much fun you're having with it, and they really latch on to you as
right,
fans.
right,
Then they're going to be like cheering you on all the way too. And
right.
that is the thing that a lot of people, I think, I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people kind of go, I want to do these things, but I'm not sure where to start.
Right.
You know,
We just
the
jumped
first,
in.
Just go.
Just
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
Do it.
yeah.
Like
And
whatever it is, just do
some
it.
of our
right,
best experience in that have been on the fly, things that just happened. You
right,
Yeah.
know, it really is.
right,
Yes. And the people.
exactly,
The people, you're right,
Finding people that just embrace it and love it.
right,
And
right.
it's been so good.
We've
right,
had doors open us.
Such as yourself,
Right.
you know, where it's like you reach out and the other people who've reached out and have like
yeah,
made it even more fun for us.
And
Gives us the drive to keep going
Yeah,
right.
and
yeah,
keep plucking along.
Wearing
So
our t-shirts helps too.
yeah.
Then people will talk to us.
And they did. We were in, where was it? We're, this last hotel, we were in Walmart. Was it Walmart? Yeah, the people
yes,
came up. I like your shirts. You know,
Yes.
it just gets a, you know, it's a
Y'all
talking
chase
point.
ghosts?
Yeah,
Yeah.
y'all are ghost hunters. Yeah,
right,
all over Mobile.
Did we
yeah,
tell them our website and our
yeah.
TikTok?
Yeah, we got business cards. Yeah,
Yeah.
follow us,
QR code.
subscribe, hit that notification
right,
bell. And that's a whole
yeah,
other thing that we are not used to. You know, like and subscribe.
Right.
You know,
right,
In the
not,
beginning,
right,
we weren't
yeah,
talking to other people. We were
yeah,
just having fun
just
amongst
us. Yeah,
ourselves.
yeah. Now it's kind of
We're being
changed a little bit.
sociable.
Yeah, yeah. It's
right.
kind of changed a little
It,
bit. Now we're having to talk to the audience.
Right.
Where we were just, you know,
those,
just talking to us.
yeah,
And
those are
it
the
took
hard part.
adjustment.
Yeah.
That is really, really hard part to remember sometimes. Like I'm
Yes.
really bad still about going like, subscribe, and share, guys, you know, and that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
And I
using
forget so much. I have to voice over it into the videos because I forget.
Right.
right, and then using those cards at the end of the video too, because
Yes.
like
Yeah. I just
when
learned
we're
that on the last video. I didn't know how they did that. I do now. But the last video I learned it.
right, right,
Like I said, each
and
video, you know, I learned something new.
yep, yep, I do too. It's like every day now I'm learning something new. I'm
Hmm.
going, wow, if I would have known that for my last interview,
Right.
this would
That's
have
what
been
I'm
really
saying. We
helpful.
do so much further ahead.
We
Right,
do it because we
exactly.
love it.
Yeah, we do it because
Right.
we love it. Yeah. And we've said it
Right,
before, even if we don't make it or anything
Yeah, we
in
don't
this,
care.
yeah, it's the memories. We enjoy this. You know, it's
Yeah.
fun.
We're still gonna do
Yeah,
it.
we're still gonna do it.
Nobody watches.
right,
Yeah, yeah.
We're
Even if
gonna
nobody
watch.
watches, we're
We're
gonna
gonna
watch. We're our biggest fans.
right,
People,
right.
Oh my God, it's Red Exotic.
yes, that's my
And
brother.
they do that. They will do that. Oh my God, we'll be out in public and they'll do that. I'm like,
Yep.
oh my God.
Yeah, that's my brother.
He's my best friend for years.
For years.
Wow. this these that's exactly what is like, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing too. It's not because I like. Do I expect to go somewhere with it? We all do. We all have that desire to.
Right, right,
But at the same time, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying like getting a chance to hang out with you guys. Ray, I like this is only the second time, and how long have we like been aware of each other
a long
online?
time, several years
And
now.
yeah, and this is the second time in all that time I've actually got to just hang out with you on a
Yeah,
live before.
yeah,
But the thing of it is like that's the point of with a lot of us, and I think the biggest take home for everybody at the end of the day is what do you love and do you love doing what you're doing?
right, right.
Yeah, and that is what it really boils down to.
Yeah.
That's why I
As long as
think
you
you
know what you're
guys,
doing, that's all that matters.
Right. And who
right,
you doing it with?
Right.
right. And I think that is why you guys are going to draw the people and are going to draw in a fan base that's really like you guys are like those people that they're going to love you just because you're authentic and because you're relatable. I can relate to you, other people can relate to you.
And another
So
thing with that, some of your big paranormal YouTubers, every video they've got they catch something. What they
every
don't
time,
tell you is they don't uh, air the locations that they didn't get evidence in. They only air the ones where they had evidence. I put up
Everything.
Everything.
everything. So and you're not going to get something every
Everywhere.
time. It's just not the reality. So y'all get to see. We're not faking this. We're not making stuff move. You get to see it all,
Lightning
activity or
storms in
no.
the cemetery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rain
right,
at Fort Pickens.
right.
That was
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm out there with the copper dowsing rods in a lightning storm.
True story.
Did not
oh,
even occur.
Yeah, it didn't even dawn on me. That's a dumb idea, Ray.
But did you die?
But did I die?
No.
Close. No.
wow. Wow. But those are I mean, this is one of the things that I love about the about you guys' style is you're not afraid to take risk.
No,
No.
we're not. We don't
Sometimes you
care.
don't think about it, but right,
Life is a
Care.
risk.
Yeah.
right, right. And you really do have to have an open mind about breaking your own neck in a lot of
Yes,
Yes.
cases.
yes, you really do.
Um,
You really, really
you
do.
really do. And that was one of
Yeah,
the
a
things
lot of
that
people don't take
that
into account the dangers as far as that goes. Walking into a place you've never been before in the total dark.
And the dangers of when you meet random people who are like, I like ghost hunting.
Yes,
Can
and
I join
our
you?
last video, I didn't put none of it in there. We had a whole
I think it's
situation
on
happen.
Ace's page. That dude
Oh.
was batshit crazy.
He really was.
wow.
Yeah, that was fun times. Didn't know we were going to get murdered or not.
Yeah, don't pick up random
don't-
people who want to go
But there's
hunt with
a
you.
whole story behind that, though. I mean, we're thinking this guy is the owner of the hotel.
I thought he was.
And we're going to get even more access. Like, sure, he comes up to us, asks if he can join us. We're like, sure, yeah, come on. We'll get to go back to the underground tunnel and that. And this is some tweaker.
Yeah.
And what did we just
No.
do?
No.
Mobile was a fun place.
Yeah, that was a fun place. Yeah, come to
Wow.
Mobile, Alabama.
Stranger danger
Yes.
is what we all learned that
Yeah,
night.
we learned from then. Nobody is allowed to join us.
No random people
ever
again.
Wow. Oop. Where'd the sound go? Did you guys mute? I don't know if they can hear me or not. Did, hey, are you, are you,
Okay.
there we go. I was like, wait a minute, are we muted? What happened?
Yeah, somebody was trying to call, and I'm on my phone. I didn't think things through.
It's live. People are it's going to happen. So
Yeah.
one of the things I do want to give you there's an area. It's not that far from you guys actually. Over there in Mobile where they had the Mardi Gras there on that one street that has all the ritzy houses and the trees that
That's
hang
where we
over.
were
And
just at, in the down
Yes.
historic district,
That's
which
Yeah.
was where we were.
there's a graveyard over there in that area. It's a huge
Yes.
cemetery.
Yes.
Now, one of the cousin that lives over in that way took me to that. And one of the things I found really cool over there was actually people who are probably just relatives of mine are buried over there, which is really unusual. But I got to tell you that the vibe of that place alone. But again, it's backed up right against a very bad area.
Yes.
So you really want to be careful going into that cemetery. But
They tend to end up getting into these bad
We go
areas.
everywhere. We
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah, we really
Like,
don't. We just, if y'all only seen half of it,
oh yeah,
some
yeah,
places are pretty sketchy.
oh yeah, 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 they are.
How we're not a statistic.
I'm serious.
But that's the thing was like you, unfortunately, in some places not like it. Not every place is going to be like Decatur, Illinois, which has its own issues, but it's also
Right.
it's also a very haunted town, and it has a lot of lore and a lot of things. But again, there's issues there, so you want to be very careful in some
Right.
areas. But
Right.
there's very few of those areas in that town.
Now she's pretty good about. She's basically our planner, and she'll go through to check the areas. Is
The
it
the hot
times.
spots.
Yeah.
The
Right.
red on the
Right.
map.
To
Yeah.
keep us aware so we
Yeah.
know where we're safe,
Yeah.
we know where we're not
Yeah.
safe
She tries to make sure book us outside of the.
of the red zones.
Yeah.
But we do go into
But
the
we
red
do, yeah,
zone.
we absolutely
And we
do.
do,
The
but if
witch's tree
if
is
we
way
feel,
red.
but we pay attention to our surroundings, and if
Right,
we feel
right.
that we're not safe, we don't go.
We don't go. Yeah.
We just
Like we're
don't
talking
go.
about with the witch's tree. No, he got it. We did.
We didn't.
Right. No.
We didn't. Well, I had a key to the car. I was good.
You're right. And I was in the car. I was good.
Wow.
The only thing I had going for me is this, my son is like 6'2".
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was bulky enough
Yeah.
to
They weren't going to.
they weren't gonna mess with us.
I
Not
wasn't
knowing.
taking a chance.
No,
I was
not
good.
it.
Yeah,
Not
I
it.
seen it from the car.
Yeah.
We were good.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were y'all's support.
Yeah, we were their
We were gonna
support,
draw attention with the horn.
Yeah. Run them over if we had to.
And it's usually me, the scaredy cat.
I know.
That day it wasn't.
Yeah. The real world, like people are scarier than the haunted, the ghosts.
Places, yes, the people.
Yeah. That's one of the things that, like, people are always like asking me, said, "Aren't you afraid to do some of the stuff that you do?" And I'm like, what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid of walking outside of my house.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am not
Same.
afraid of opening up a portal. I'm not afraid of having contact with anything because, in all honesty, a physical human being is more dangerous than anything that I've ever come in contact
Yeah.
with.
Yep.
Same.
And that is the bottom line. With our biggest risk are other people,
Yeah.
not the spirit world.
Yep.
So
Yep. The living is scarier than the dead.
hmm
always,
I'd rather deal
always.
with the dead.
100%.
Yeah. They at least have, well, they have boundaries for one thing. They're dead, so.
Right.
Right.
So one more time, let's go through, and I want you guys to just give me as many shameless plugs as you can about like where to find you, what you're doing, what to look forward to, and where to find you.
We are on pretty much every platform for the most part. We're TikTok, everything, the Paranormal Rejects. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Our website is www.theparanormalrejects.com. You can email us from the website. Everything's linked together. So even if you go to the website, all of our socials are linked there. You can get to us on all platforms. And we got, we had just went to a hotel 2 weeks ago now, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm working on editing it, so that's coming. I'm hoping in about another week it'll be done. Now these two are going on a cruise
Without
without me.
Oh,
But I digress. But after they get back, we got some more places we're going to go to. We've been trying to get into. I've posted it on my personal TikTok before. We wanted to go to like Coon Hill Cemetery.
right.
We cannot legitimately get in there at night. We've been trying for a year, and we just cannot. So we're going to do like a day trip there because paranormal activity doesn't just happen at night.
Right.
It happens during the day too. So we're going to go spend a couple hours there, and there's another cemetery. But and then for Halloween, like I said, I'm trying to get in with Bloody Mary. She's done reached out to me. I've got to call her, and it would be great to go for Halloween to go back there. So it would be like a full circle moment. That's kind of where we started.
right. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. That is definitely a good place to go back
Yeah.
to.
And if not, we can do Savannah or something like that. We
Right.
want to do something exciting.
A big
For Halloween.
Halloween.
Yeah.
spot.
That's doable for us. That we can afford and that we can actually do.
Right.
Unless there's some
Right.
rich uncle out there who
Yeah,
just
I
wants
mean,
to donate.
Cash App, the exact app.
Right. Right. Look, you guys say that, but it only takes that one person seeing the
Right.
right thing at the right time.
In the carry. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I think any
person.
pick you walk.
That's what I'm saying. That's just, no.
That already failed.
When we say we're raw, we are. We're loud, obnoxious. It's just who we are.
Well,
that's
Yeah.
part of the draw. That's part of the draw. All right, I want you guys to hang out for a minute because when I finish closing us out, I'm gonna come back into the green room with you guys for a
Okay.
moment. But hang on with just a minute here. All right, and that was the Paranormal Rejects, and as I promised, I think that was probably my most fun interview to date. I'm loving this. You guys go and support them. You've got the information in front of you tonight. Go and support them, follow them, like them, and share them out. If you're on my Facebook page, I'll have their information up tonight for that too. In case you missed it, again, follow, like, share. Until next time, I love you guys. Be safe, be real, and you have a good night. And may your journey always be magical.